In this video, we're going to talk about brows when you're over 40. And I have a little pocket mirror for this so I can look in my mirror instead of looking in the phone. The first thing I do is I use both the Precision Brow Pencil and our volumizing brow tint. And I also use the clear brow gel a little bit sometimes. Okay. And oh my gosh, I love our, oops, hang on. I love our brow brush, our little spoolie brush. I don't know what I would do without it because it just keeps everything arched and like just combed down pretty. Okay, so the first thing I do is I use the Precision Brow Pencil, and I'm using blonde, and I just use it to kind of, this is a liner. It's called a brow liner, but you can use it to fill in your brows, like if you have a few holes. But I use very small strokes. Like you can see, I'm just barely hitting the skin with it. You don't want to just go like windshield wiper, you know? It looks more natural if you do tiny, tiny strokes. And you want to go in the direction that the hair grows, of course. Sorry, I have a rogue hair there. Okay. And you can already tell a big difference. To me, this helps shape and arch your brows. And I can already see a difference there. So let's just do, well, you know what? I'll do one and then I'll show you the difference. And sometimes I like to blend. If I went a little too big with my strokes, I like to go in and blend and lay those nice and flat. And then the brow tint has fibers in it that can really thicken up your brows. And I love the brush on this. It has a tiny, tiny brush. And you don't need much product at all. If you couldn't see off camera, but I was like just wiping a ton of product off because this will last you so long because you only need a tiny, tiny bit. And you look older when you have darker brows starting in here. So you want to start in the middle, and I know it's going to be crazy the first couple of times. You're going to be like, what? Because you know, human instinct is to start on the left and go right. But you start in the middle and you work out because you don't want that much product at all toward the center of your face, towards the end of your brows on the inside. It's better to be darker here than darker here. So you go out with this or whatever, and they just lay down. And you can do it another way. You can fluff them up like this. You can fluff them all up, and then you can comb them over. Just whatever you prefer. It's a preference, you know. But this is going to thicken them up like crazy because of the little fibers. And trust me, if you don't even have brows, this is gonna pick up. You're gonna think you like grew brows overnight. But sorry, I have a couple of stray ones there. Okay. Look at the difference. Like, isn't that crazy? And if you get a little too much, it's no big deal. You can always use your spoolie brush and just kind of, which I use this to blend the color. If I get a little too much in one spot, you blend it. Okay. And then even still, I have a few hairs that are just kind of sticking up and kind of being unruly. So I like to go in with, and this is kind of like a top coat for me because it is clear and it has a bigger brush. So I'm wiping a lot of the product off of this too because you don't need much. And look at the brush. It is so much bigger. I just use a little tiny bit like hairspray to kind of push those down. And if I want to fluff them up a little more, then I just go back in with the clear. So now I don't like how that's sticking out right there, so I'll go in and I'll kind of push that up. Kind of shape them the way I want them to lay. And I know what you're thinking, man, Casey, that was a lot of steps. Well, I don't do that every single time, you know, but when I want wow brows, these are my steps that I follow. I do the liner, I do the brow tint, and I go back in with the clear. And then, you know what's going to happen? You're going to see all these little hairs that don't belong, and you're going to be tweezing because it's just going to point out all the little hairs that are not where they're supposed to be, that you might not have even noticed when your brows were not laying down and doing what they're supposed to do. Okay, so that's my brow tips. So I'm going to go off camera now and do the other one. And then the next video will be probably contour. Thanks for watching.